Three, two, one. Hey, I tried that. I tried it. Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Monday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. If nobody has told you, I'm telling you, be loved, feel love, love yourself. All right, this morning I wanted to get on here real quick. I got my timer going. 14 minutes left, okay? I got to make it quick. As you all know, I've said it once, I've said it twice. I got a full-time job. Everybody out here trying to make them coins. So let's get it off and started, okay? Basically, I wanted to come on here today and talk about being authentic. I got a couple topics that I wanted to address, okay? First off, I want to talk about my shirt. If y'all can see my shirt right here, it says, I survived being real. I got this shirt at Impact 2022. I think I've talked about it. And the Dunk is the person who gave these shirts out. I'm going to show you who Dunk is right here. This is Dunk on the over here. And this is Melissa D. White interview with him. He is a speaker and pastor. He did a phenomenal speech on the Impact 2022. So I thought I would represent, because I'm going to be talking about being real. And hey, I'm a survivor, right? But Dunk is the cousin of Boosie. If any of y'all know him, but you can check him out. Just Google him on YouTube. You can check out some of his YouTube videos and hear his phenomenal story. Hear how he went from, as you can see here, gangsta to where he is today, and he survived being real. That's what's up. Okay, so we got that off on the run. I'm doing good. So this weekend, as you guys know, I'm in class, and the two classes I'm taking this semester are, one is on branding your authentic self, and the other one talks about computer mediated communication, such as computers, cell phones, anything that we use to communicate to each other is considered computer mediated communication. And so one of the things that I have realized with these classes is it really, these classes make me see myself in my real self. Okay. And I love that. I mean, since I've been in my recovery over 26 years, the main focus of my recovery is identifying me, who I am, what makes me me, and connecting with that part of myself, which I may not have known, and loving that part of myself. Unconditional love is the best love of all. If anybody follows, or anybody is, reads the Bible, Buddhism, whatever your way of connecting to a higher power, you have probably heard that unconditional love is the best love. And when I started my recovery, that was one of my hurdles, loving myself unconditionally. We all need to love ourselves unconditionally. And what that means is, no matter what you do, when you mess up, how often you mess up, you still look in the mirror and you say, I love myself unconditionally. So that means without any condition, no matter what happens, no matter how, whatever I do, I love myself. So moving on, the three things I wanted to kind of touch on today is being LGBTQ in the workplace, gender bending, and branding my authentic self. So being an LGBTQ member of the community, as a lesbian, a lifetime lesbian, I have often been confronted, even today, even in 2020, when we are living in the most open times we could possibly live in, being confronted about my sexuality is a common thing. Okay. And for those of you who struggle with that, who might be in a job that maybe your job doesn't accept it, or they may accept it, but yet with quote unquote, you see my quotes, okay, quote unquote, stipulations, right? And so I see I'm a little off tilted, but you know what? I'm gonna leave that. That way, hey, it's a little effect on the side, little camera effect. But anyway, how do you move through your day? You know, so I was reading this weekend. This is all going to connect to. So I was reading this weekend in the computer. No, I was reading in the book Authentic Personal Brand Coaching by Herbert K. Rampersad. Chapter 18 and 9 is what we had to read this weekend. And so in those chapters, they were talking about branding your authentic self, and your authentic self being connected to your company's brand and mission. Okay. So as I'm reading this, I'm realizing some of the struggles that I have had is with working with companies is they do not show that my authentic self is acceptable. They look for me to fit into gender roles, which that's the other part that I had to read this weekend when in chapter 16 of the computer mediated communication in the personal and in personal relationships. I read about gender roles and realizing that gender is really a construct of our society. It is not anything that has to do with birth. It is what our society, for example, our society says blue is for boys and pink is for girls. Okay, that is a societal construct. So gender, a biological, a person with the biological hormones of what they would consider a female, and biological hormones what they consider male, we then associate this construct called gender for classification purposes, right? And so when people like myself step outside those social constructs, there's a backlash, because those who have decided to conform to those social constructs, they don't, when they see that signal, they're confused, which leads me to, as a communications major, one of the things that I'm constantly talking about is that we communicate verbally and non-verbally. My hand signals, the shirt I'm wearing, my hair bonnet, even my, crystal stones and necklaces that I've got on right now. All that is a form of communication. It is speaking to my audience or whomever is in front of me, and it's talking about me. It's talking about the philosophy that I have. Okay, I survive being real. That's philosophy that I have. My crystals show you that I am a person who likes the metaphysics. I believe in a higher presence and want to connect in a metaphysical connection. This right here, all these things is talking to you. Even my tattoos. Let me see if I can show you. You can see this is one, my ankh, that communicates something. And then on this arm I have, let me see if I can show it. Anyway, it's the eye of Horus, and it has the yin and yang symbol in the middle. And that is communicating something, okay? So we're always communicating to people who we are what we believe in, what our philosophy is, what kind of energy we have going on. If you're walking around with a scowl on your face and, your eyes squinted in, you're communicating you're pissed, you're mad, that something ain't going right. If you're walking around and you've got a smile on your face and you are up, just uplifting and you're bouncy, you're communicating, oh my gosh, I am just feeling outstanding. Okay. So we're always communicating in our posture and our stance, our eyes, eye contact is key. And I always make sure I can give good eye contact when I communicate to somebody, because I want them to know I'm engaged with you and I hear you. So going back, basically, what I wanted to touch on today is how I realized that some of the challenges that I continuously face in my workplace have to do with me being my authentic self as a gender bending person, and that causing friction amongst some of the people I work with. But here's the thing. You got to be you. That's it. You got to be you, no matter what. Okay? And I realized that I have been, I don't like to use the word was, I have been pushing my authentic self down in order for those around me to feel comfortable. Why did I do that? A couple of reasons. One, that behavior came from training, in-home training and out of the home training, military and in the home. Now, my stepfather was military, and so he did military things. But my mother, I love her. If she watches this video, mwah, love you, Ma. Though she meant well, she had a part in squashing down my authentic self. And I believe that was because she wasn't comfortable with me being gender bending. She saw it. She's in psychology. I know she saw it. She saw it. Yet she struggled with it. One, as a mother, not being concerned about how her child would be treated in the world. And it might have made her a little uncomfortable because she didn't understand, like, how is it that she, I'm not this way. Why is my daughter this way? And so that really is irrelevant, though she meant well. The message I received is stay low. Okay. And don't tell everybody. Well, that then plays out as I'm not being my authentic self. People pick up on that, and that also impacts how people trust me, how people feel around me. Because really what they're sensing something. They just don't know what it is. And a lot of times, that's what it was. Me masking me. And that plays a lot on the psychological aspects up here. Okay. So moving forward, I got 30 seconds left. Moving forward, no more shoving down me. I'm LGBTQ in the workplace or not. I'm gender bending. Don't hate, appreciate. And I'm branding my authentic self. Okay, everybody. Woo, I actually did it. I'm going to send you off with a little music and dance on this Valentine's Day. Let's hit it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Bop. Do bop. Boop. Da bop. Boop. Boop. Bop. There's a bell, everybody. There's the bell. All right, everybody. Peace and love to you. I hope you enjoyed this conversation, and I will bring you another one next week. Peace.